This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, welcome everyone. So in the previous video, we looked into how to create a functional requirements document. We looked into the different sections and what could be the content that goes into each and every section. And as I mentioned, this particular video would be more about how do you use the formatting features that you have within Microsoft Word to help you in creating a better, document as such. Okay, so this is a very plain document which will try to have some sort of sections created, and we are focusing more on the formatting part. Okay, so we are not looking at the content as of now. We are going to look at the formatting part. So let's keep it very simple. So let's say that is the very first page wherein I have mentioned the title and maybe function requirement document. Maybe you'll also mention the project name below this. It's up to us. Okay. uh, After having done this, then let's say that I'll have a page break here. How do you do that? You click on insert. I mean, whenever you are done with the content what you want in one page and you want to jump into next page, instead of continuously pressing enter, you can just go to page break. Okay, and here usually we'll have a table of contents, right? And let me keep it like this. I mean, of course later we'll have it changed, but table of contents, and this is some random text, lorem ipsum text, which we'll use in multiple sections. Okay, so table of contents, again, I'm not creating it because MS Word helps in having an updated, better format of table of contents, but that will happen once you have the other headings and subheadings in place. Okay, so right now we don't have, so let's keep it blank and let's go to the next page. So here, let's say that in this section, maybe I'll say this section 1. Okay, and here I want to have a executive summary. Okay, fine. And as part of executive summary, I have this text. Let me copy a part of this text and keep it repeating for the other sections. Okay, so executive summary is there. Then maybe the second section is something like I want to add about uh, what is it, scope, for example. Okay, so within scope, I'll say in scope, and here I'll have you know this text, and then I'll say out of scope. And here I'll have again some random text like this. I'm not formatting anything. It's automatically, doing the indentation and all. I have not done anything. Anyways, we'll see how this can impact your sections and all that. Okay. Now let's say this in scope and out of scope. And then I'm just going back, and here I'm going for section 3, which could be your assumptions. Okay. So here I'll have some text. Don't worry about this text being smaller font and all. We'll see how it will work right later. Then fourth one, I'll have dependencies. Okay, let me put a break here. Okay, so here again I'll have some text. Now after assumptions dependencies, what we'll have is the, let's say, the glossary, right? That was what we looked into earlier. So let's put it like this, glossary, and again here you'll have your abbreviations, full forms, and all those things. Uh, Now let's say the actual business requirements or slash functional requirements based on the type of document that you're creating. Okay, maybe if you want, you can have a few other points like the data flow diagram and all those things can come into this. But let's say these are the 6 sections that you have. Subsections you had only in this particular thing, which was a scope section. Okay, fine. So now let's say this is your overall document, and now you're supposed to do the formatting of this. Uh, Here, this is like a plain document. Let's start with some very pretty basic things like, let's add some, mm, where is it? You'll have something called as page borders. Okay. So let me select this one, and I'm selecting this box type, and here it goes. So now every page will have this box. Okay. If I reduce this, you can see this box type uh, borders that you have for your document. Okay, now as I said, now what has happened is I have added these. Now let me go to table of contents and try to say that create table of contents. It should not work actually. The reason being, you have not created the headings properly. So if I want to insert table of contents here, it says start by applying a heading style from styles gallery to go to selected text. So what is happening here is the document is not able to identify what are the table of what are the different sections that you have in your document. So first you should help in understanding what are the headings, what are subheadings and all, so that then the document can help you in creating the table of contents. How do you do that? So let me go back to home. Okay, and here this is the first section, right? So this is the heading, major heading of the section. So what do? I select this and then I go here in the styles section in the ribbon that you have on the top, and I can select any of these things as such. So let me select heading 1. Okay, so when I say heading 1, so what is happening here is the document is identifying this to be as a heading. Okay. Now what happens is I go to the next section also, which is scope, and here I do the same thing. I select this and then I quickly go here and select this. So now what has happened is this is also identified as a heading. If you see 1.1, I mean the numbers will keep changing later, we can change it later, but this, if you see, in scope is not a heading for me, it's a subheading, right? It's a text within, heading within a heading. So what do? I see if there is something on heading 2. Yes, there is. So I select this as heading 2, and then again here I select this as another heading 2. Okay, and if at all, if you have another heading within subheading, then you can use heading 3 if you want, but right now I don't need it. So on and so forth. Now when I do this, so what has happened is I've already identified a couple of things as heading and subheading, right? So now if I go to table of contents and if I say insert, no, it was in layout reference, sorry. Yeah, so if I go here and if I say that create something like this. Oh, sorry, I was here, so it has got created here. Let me go back. I should just save this, and here if I say, so now if you see here, what has happened is this has got created automatically because I have already identified the headings and subheadings. So Word document is able to tell that okay, these are the ones, and according to it, it is filling up these particular details and giving to me. Okay, so this is how it works. Now let's refine it a little further. So for example, this executive summary is good, but I want my entire text to be in black font. I don't want it to be in blue, black, and other colors and all those things. I don't want it. I want to keep it extremely formal. And since I'm talking about creating a document for some major client, uh, I want to keep it as professional as possible. So I don't want to use multiple colors. Keep it uh, pretty straightforward and simple. So now when I say this, so here this is the one. Let me go back to the home tab, and this is the heading, right? I'll modify this. What I've done is I've selected this, right click on modify, and here I want to keep the text as underlined, and maybe I want to keep it as bold, and I want the text color to be changed to black. Okay, and maybe increase this size to maybe 18. Okay, so what I've done, this is how it looks. It gives you a preview, and then I click on enter. So this is what executes on. It doesn't look that good, right? Maybe I should change this to, let's see. Okay, a little bit better. So this is what, so I've changed it only once, but since I've already mentioned this also is part of heading 1, it has got automatically changed. Same way, if I take this and mention this as another heading 1, and then this one as another heading 1, all these things, then all of these get automatic. I don't have to do anything more. I have to just mention that these are the headings, and automatically the required what do you say, formatting requirements will be taken care of. Okay, so these are all the headings. Now similarly for subheading also I want to do the same thing, so I'll take this This is set as heading 2, right? This one. So again, I'll go here, click on right click and modify, and I'll change this to again black color text, and maybe I'll just keep an underline for this, not uh, bold and all. Okay, and let me change this to character body. Okay, fine. So now this becomes in scope becomes a subsection. Out of scope also has selected earlier as heading 2, so this also has become the subsection. So now if I go and update my table of contents, okay, this I can change. I can remove this. Okay, now this is the table of contents. It was based on the earlier changes. Now I'll just click on this and I'll see this option and click on this update table, and here I'll say update the entire table. And once I do this, since I've already made the required selections, it automatically updates everything. And let's say that after maybe a few days you've added more points to the scope section, which has increased the text within this, and all the page numbers have got you know changed and all because of that. Okay, all the sections below that have got pushed downwards and all those things. So what do? You don't have to again check every section which page and then come here and make the changes. Instead, you can simply click on this, click here, and right now you see this 445. Now you see this, it changes the page numbers. Oh, looks like the page numbers have not changed yet. Let me just take these points, and now if I say this, okay, fine. So now it reflects as 6 pages. So now if I come here and click on an update entire table, it changes the page numbers according to it. Okay, so this is how you can do it. And after having said this, yeah, you would have seen sometimes that there'll be a header and footer created for the documents. So how do you do that? So here, yeah, in the insert tab you have something called as footer. So here I'll select this, and I'll select this style. Maybe I want to keep it something pretty simple like this, or maybe just one. So here if you see type here, only one text is something which you want to create, which will come at the bottom left of every page. Okay, if you want something like that, you can select this one. If you have three text to be coming, or if you want the page numbers to be displayed, you can have these things. Let me select this one and type here. I will type something like maybe the client's name here. For example, let's take it as Walmart. It's not, of course, but and let's say this way. Okay, this is the footer that I've created. Okay, now once I click outside of it, what happens is every page will have this footer at the bottom left. You can in fact edit the footer if you want it to be below here somewhere or something like that. You can make those changes by going back to insert footer and edit footer and all those things you can do. But this is just to give you an idea how it works and all. Okay. So this similarly, maybe I want to add a header also on the top right. Uh, Something like, say, business requirement document. So now this goes into every page, and you can see that this business requirement document appears at the top right. Doesn't look good, so maybe just let me remove it because it is getting confused with the text. But if you want, this is to give you an idea that if you want, you can do that way. You can have headers and footers created. Now that's fine. Okay, you have done all these things, and let's say that you have added all this text, and then you have sent this particular. Okay, we have sent this particular document for review to the stakeholders. Now, every stakeholder might take a look at it and share their inputs. So they can do it over mail. You send this document as an attachment with a mail, and in the mail they mention that this particular section needs these points to be added, or this needs to be revised, etc. Or they can add all of those comments in this particular document itself. How do they do that? So, for example, here, maybe in the scope section, mention about the type of products for which this this particular feature is going to be available, something like that. If that is the point to be added, maybe I'll select this point, I'll place the cursor here, and then I'll click on review, and then I'll say add a new comment. Okay, and here, since this document is being used by me, my name comes up here. So I'll say uh, please add information on which products will this feature be applicable to. Okay, so now this is a comment which I've added here. Okay, similarly, maybe if I have to click on this to add this comment. Okay, and then maybe down I have some other comment to add, so I'll just click there, and then again add, click on new comment, I can have one more comment, so on and so forth. So your stakeholders can add the comments to the document and send it back to you so that you can quickly go to that particular section. Here it is showing as show comments. If I just, if I say original, what happens is it shows me the document as it is, okay, without any comments and all those things mentioned. This is how it looks. Okay, but if I want to take a look at the comments, then I have to come here and where is it? Sorry. So when I say this, it shows me the document. Where is this? This comments it shows. And one thing I can do is once I receive the review comments from the stakeholders, I can make the changes based on this comment. I can see what is a comment. I can make the changes here. Maybe I'll add few points over here and I'll say uh, made the required changes. Okay, and then I can click like this, so it shows that I have replied to this comment, and then this document is sent again back to the stakeholders. They can review further and say if there is anything to be done, or they can say everything is fine. Okay, once all of these to and fro happens between the stakeholders and the business analyst about all the changes that are required to be done in the document and all, the final version is something where you'll create another document which has all of these content, which is the document which will go for the approval process. Okay, or you can might be you can just click on accept all changes so that all these comments will get removed, and this document itself will serve as the final document. So this is the usual process followed. Maybe the specific client or your company might have a different process of managing these feedback mechanism from the stakeholders, but this is one way in which it can be done. Okay, so this is to just give you an idea like how we usually do it. And apart from this, there are a lot many other formatting things that can be part of your document creation process. For example, within Word document you can use formula tab to make any calculations if that is required. Or there are a few more things. Like in fact, if you have, say, you received a particular information as a PDF document, okay, and you want to add that content of that PDF document into your BRD. One way you can do it is you don't have to really I mean, how do you pull out the text from PDF? Even that is possible because MS Word allows you to open a PDF document as Word. So maybe you can just click on file, open, and then search for that document, that PDF, and open it within Word, and it shows you the entire document content of that PDF that you can use. So there are a lot of other things like that which you can do, which will help you in being able to create these documents like this in a very faster manner. Maybe sometimes you'll add some reference material related points. For example, as part of this business requirements or somewhere, if you want to refer to a particular text from a different source, there is something called as I think it will come in references. Citation, yeah. You can include the citation, which is usually done in research papers, but here also if you want to add certain information like some market research related points you want to add here in business requirement document, then you can add one or two points over here and click on insert citation, and then it'll show that as a separate text which has some source details mentioned somewhere else, and at the bottom of the document you can include this bibliography. Okay, so all of these things are different things. I mean, if you start creating documents, if you start spending time on it, you'll get to know more and more. But the basic things are pretty much the same. You create the sections, then you create a table of contents, and then of course you'll have this revision control, and this comes at the end actually. I mean, once you have created a document, then you have was it called revision control, or just let me just quickly go to it. Sometimes I'm bad at remembering names. Version control, I think it is version control, sorry. So version control is one section, then you'll have something called as a sign off control and stakeholders list. So you'll create that table and you'll include the list of people who have been the approvers for this document and all that stuff. Okay, so these are the basic things that you should be aware of as to what goes into a business requirement document and how do you create a basic business requirement document and similarly a functional requirement document. Okay, so I hope things are clear. And as I said, the more and more you spend time on it, the more and more you start working on it, you'll get to know things in a much better fashion. Okay, and one more thing that you can do is whenever you're into a project and you're asked to create a document, there is nothing wrong in asking for some sample documents to be shared with you, that in fact shows that you're interested in maintaining the standard practices of the company, and that's the reason you want to refer to something which is already there in place and get it done. Or you can talk to fellow business analysts from other projects within your company and ask what have they done, what documents have they created, and what were the standards that they followed, and you can try to follow something on the same lines. So it's not like you're totally left alone and you have to manage everything on your own. You can take the support of your team, of your project manager, of the fellow business analysts, and all the other people out there. Okay, so that's for now. Okay, I hope things are clear till here, and we'll close this video here. We'll meet with another one. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.